Good day, ladies and gentlemen, friends and patriots alike. Welcome to today's first installment of the Lionel Nation Conspiratorium and Clerisy. And as we normally do, my friends, just to make sure, just to ensure, just to guarantee that everything is on the up and above board, may I ask you very quietly, very succinctly, and very cogently, and very alacritously for you to verify that I'm coming in 5 by 5, where you can hear me clearly. There is no problem with the sound, the sonority, the tonality, the timbre, anything along those lines. Very good. Thank you, frankly. Thank you so much. The first one. You are entitled, my friend, to the best analysis. And I am going to submit to you that why I think this is the best is because it is the most honest. I have no agenda, no audience, no group I'm trying to maintain. I'm not trying to court favor. In fact, most of the time, I am invariably cutting off connections with and burning bridges with various groups of people who theoretically represent folks that I agree with. Theoretically, dear friends, theoretically. And I want you just to understand that this is a very fluid type of deal. That when it comes to politics, not necessarily what you think it is. It's kind of the way other people believe it to be. I don't care what I think. I really don't care what you think. I care about what voters think. And that's our focus. You and I can talk about what's right and wrong, and that's great. And I think that's wonderful. And God love us. We are so correct. But the problem with this remains that the other people involved who run this show are the ones who really care. So we're going to be talking about this today. It is going to be like something you've never seen before, I promise you. But before we begin in earnest, let me remind you of this very, very critical word from our very, very critical sponsor. There's a revolution happening right now above our heads. It's about to make silver more precious than ever. The sun's power is taking over the world. It's growing so fast, it'll be the biggest source of electricity by the 2030s. Solar. Listen carefully. Here's the kicker. Every single solar panel needs silver to work. We're talking about a silver paste web in every panel, turning sunlight into power. Smart investors are already making their move, and that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. With a silver IRA, you can surf this incredible wave of growth. It doesn't matter who sits in the White House or what Wall Street does, because solar power is unstoppable, and silver is its secret weapon. As the world goes green, your retirement could be going sterling silver. Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers in 2024. Visit LionelNationGold.com. You may get up to 10 free brand new 1-ounce silver Trump coins. I love the sound of that. Or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar with every qualifying IRA. That's LionelNationGold.com. LionelNationGold.com. And remember, there's always a risk of investment and there's no guarantee of any kind. Now, my friends, let's begin with the reality of what's going on. We have right now 45 days. 46, 45 days. Some people say 46, they say 45 days until the election. And we can talk about things and we can point to stuff. We can say, hey, this one said this. Hey, Bill Maher said this. Hey, on Hannity, he said this. Hey, on Gutfeld, he said this. And this is kind of the way most people have substituted political analysis for rational thought. They've looked kind of sort of to that as an example of what's important. Well, we really don't have, that's interesting. That's okay. That's sort of great. That doesn't mean a thing. What we care about is reality. And reality is the only thing that matters. And let me just say something right now. Everything comes down to not who's right, not who's wrong, but the election. Let me just say this again. It's the election. Nothing matters. Nothing. Whoever wins the election. And whatever you want to call winning, whatever you want to call it, whether who gets the most votes, who's selected, I don't know. We can argue about that. And I'm not here to make pontificating stories and if America gathers together with a collective spirit, we don't need this. We don't need this. It's just like sometimes when I'm sorry, this is me. Sometimes whenever you say, well, Uncle Joe's got a pretty bad health thing, but Uncle Joe's a fighter. Excuse me. Uncle Joe can fight all he wants, but if he has some disease that is at such a level of metastasis, he can fight to the. Don't give me platitudes. I'm sorry. Some people may love that. Some people may. I despise that. I like when young people say, you're told, you can do whatever you want to do. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't do whatever you want. America is a land of free speech. No, it's not. What are you talking about? I'm not saying give up the ship. I'm not saying, throw in the towel. But what I am saying is let's stop lying. Stop lying to each other. Stop making things up. Stop saying things that sound terrific. There's a lot of people I found in the world who really need kind of like anxiolytics and kind of like verbal CBDs and all this other kind of stuff for reasons I really don't understand. And there are also some things I tell people and they don't like what I'm saying. Let me give you an example. One of the things that we men have to do, or women too, but men, I think, because you always talk about, these are young men. And I will tell you that men love, like if you listen to Tucker Carlson and others, these folks believe that being a man has to do with testosterone levels and are you working out and are you into jujitsu and can you choke somebody out and all that kind of stuff. There's a fellow I know who I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a pretty well-known, and he on his Facebook, I came across this. He's actually showing people, look how many pull-ups I can do. This guy's in his 60s, and he's showing you, look how many pull-ups I can do, obviously by taking some type of supplement or PEDs or something. And I thought to myself, my God, has it come to this? Look how many pull-ups I can do. And one of the things that if all men should do, and women, not just women, specifically, we'll talk about women too, because they have the same problem. But most people, as you know, are heterosexual. Most people don't let anybody fool you. Don't let any fool you. Believe me. Most people, put your money on it. If you meet somebody new, they're heterosexual. It's just the way it is. Okay. If you hear hoof beats behind you, don't think zebra. Very simple. This is the fact. And what men, work with me on this one. And you as a parent have to realize when it comes time for your young men to realize they cannot be woman, or there's another word for it, but involves the term crazy. They have to be able to understand something. And this is the thing which is the most important. And this is something which I don't think you can put into words. And I don't know how you're going to teach somebody this, but it goes like this. Son, you are not going to score any points now or in the hereafter by the amount of women that you bed. This may come as a shock to you. The notches on your headboard, the stories, the conquest. If you look at women as being something that you've got to conquer, and that the number of these women that you have, that you've somehow is a link or some kind of a metric of your masculinity, you are so demented, it's not even remotely funny. Okay? It's not funny. Not only that, there are women, dear friend, who are so predatory, you have no idea how this works. And you're going to meet them. Maybe even in school, maybe in grade school. It may not be sexual, but it's going to be this battleground. Playing hard to get. Some women will drive you crazy. And there are women who are like ninjas who are sent out into the world who go out and ensnare idiots and fools. To show you how stupid this is, there are people who send photos of their own genitalia on phones to other people. People who had TV shows, people who were making millions, people who through some, I don't know what it is, they weren't drunk, said, I'm going to send you a picture. Anthony Weiner, I don't want to get into that. Never saw, I don't think he ever met this woman. I think it was all like texting. And so there's a new dimension in this. I have no idea. Okay, what am I getting at? There is a story, and you can figure it out, of a woman who was claiming she was fired from something. She might have had some kind of an inappropriate or whatever it is, relationship with Bobby Kennedy Jr. I call it the plague of the juniors, Donnie Jr. and Bobby Jr. I don't know what it is about these people, but Bobby Kennedy Jr., I can tell, is one of these guys that, oh, okay, you're one of these people. Okay. I can understand alcoholism. I can understand it. I can understand drug addiction. I can understand that people, if they get into it, some kind of chemical, but I do not understand how somebody who is at the top of his game does not understand that they are going to be coming after you. I would have a psychological profile of Bobby Kennedy set up. You can read about this. And I've been talking about this a while back. Also, he's a recovering heroin addict. And these are all things to be. But if you've never met this before, okay. But if I remember, I run special ops. My dream is, in my movie, I run special ops for the president. You never know me. I exist on no payroll. I'm not pay. I never go to the White House. I have intermediaries. I don't talk to them. Plausible deniability. It's the way Carlo Gambino used to work. But in my cadre, I'm going to say, give me a psychological profile. What's his story? Give me the makeup. Mossad has this. And it was a Gideon sword or something. There's a book, a table of the psychological shortcuts of these people and the problems that they've assessed. Bobby Kennedy, serious. Steamer trunk emotional baggage. Really, really serious stuff. Father, growing up Kennedy, masculinity issues. 70 years old. Look at me. I'm doing push-ups. Look at me. I'm doing chin-ups. Look at me. Look, I'm 70 years old and I'm putting on muscle mass. Bobby, please. This is dangerous stuff. Look at me. See, I still have it. Look at me. I used to write down a list of all the women I've bedded. What are you doing? What's the matter with you? Sit down. We have to talk. You okay? What's the matter with you? Not now. This is the time they're going to set you up. And if I work for the enemy, I'm going to say, go after them. I would have a bevy. They've been doing this honeypot since forever, since Mata Hari. I remember one time when I watched the movie The Green Berets, John Wayne. Remember how they sent this woman? What was I, 11? When was it Green Beret? I think it was 11. I'll never forget this. Bear with me on this. It's funny how Green Berets movie. The movie came out in 68. I was 10 years old. And I remember watching it. I think my father. And there was a scene where they lured this guy. Remember the NVA general or something that they hooked him up in a harness and they took him off into an. Anyway, there was a woman in there, like a Mata Hari type. I keep saying that, who seduced him. And I was shocked. I'm 10 years old. I'm from Catholic school. I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at my father. I said, because I knew all about sex, but I didn't understand the politics of sex, but I knew how it worked and all that from my whole life. I looked at him, I said, and he was very, very he never was shocked. I said, what did she have sex with this guy? He goes, yeah. What? For the country, for the cause. She's a spy. They do this? I was 10 years old. I thought, wow. And then I thought to myself, that's brilliant. Say what you want. Everybody's talking about what's going on in Lebanon with the pagers, whatever. Everybody secretly says, that's terrible. But that's awful. But that's touche. That's the way it is. We loathe it, but we respect it. We understand it. In my group, I would have seductresses, harlots, professionals who are trained to go up, spot weakness, and set people up. This is as old as you can imagine. Orson Welles was at a party or something one time. I think it was in San Francisco? And a cop, it was right after Citizen Kane, a cop or somebody said, I want to talk to you. He says, don't go back to your hotel. There's an underage girl in there. Hearst set it up. You're going to walk in your hotel room and there's going to be some girl, some underage girl in bed or some particular. And they've been doing this for whatever. There are people going out. There are idiots who do this. So I'm just telling you something. This is the part that amazes me. And you can dismiss it. You can say, wow. No. That's why I would say to Mr. President, he is going to be so out of the loop. He's going to be your FDA chief? What are you kidding me? No way. He's too reckless. No way. We'll make it sound like he's a special advisor. We'll give him some time. No. And while we're at it, let's talk about Donnie Jr. The word is right now that you are embarrassing. You are embarrassing Kimberly, his fiance, who could most probably bury him. Is anybody understanding what's going on? Is anybody too busy talking about, I went to the rally? This is what's going on at the cellular granular level. Do you understand what's happening here? This is the makeup here. And Trump, to an extent, had Ivanka, then there was Marla Maples, then there was this one, then there was that one, then there was Stormy Daniels, okay, then there was McDougal, okay. I don't know what it is about these people. Maybe they see it. Maybe part of it being a Kennedy. Oh, and the latest that is coming out, believe it or not, coming out now, and sometimes it takes a while for this. Ted Kennedy, a reprobate, degenerate, like you can't believe, the Lion of the Senate. JFK, demented. They had pimps, Mac daddies, they would call them in French, in the White House, in the Senate, on the payroll. This is reality here. This is reality, and they knew it. Bill Clinton, same thing. I don't know what it is. So, mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Or as Tony Joe White saying, mamas, don't let your cowboys grow up to be babies. Evan says, so many people seem stuck in a high school mentality. Adults seem like children. I even see this in myself at times, and so many seem self-aware. And so few seem self-aware. Yes, we're not talking about childhood, though. We're talking about deep-seated sexual whatever it is. Oh, in my world, I would say, if I work for the enemy, target Kimberly. Target Kimberly. Have Gavin call her up. It's not fair what they're doing to you. It's not fair. What are you calling me for? Listen, we may have our differences. Are you rolling on this? Yeah. We may have our differences, but you don't deserve this. You're a loyal, great woman, and this guy's going to just discard you like he discarded his first family. How many kids? 5 kids? It's none of your business, none of my business. He can do whatever he wants. I don't care. Feliz Viernes. Thank you so much. Happy Friday to you as well. How many kids did Don Jr. have? 5? 5. Now, if you don't understand what's going on here, if you don't think people are looking at that psychological profile, to leave her to go to Kimberly, I don't know what to tell you. So that's over here. That is playing out. Never ever, ever lose the ability to target the dynamic, the interpersonal, the dynamic. Don't. Don't. Human beings do not respond to things rationally. Okay. That being said, this is one thing because you'll read about it today, but nobody's really talking about that. But I promise you, and right now, as of today, and that Cheryl Hines, let me tell you something. She's gonna, you know that that Hollywood dynamic. Okay, let's talk about the Hollywood dynamic. Say what you want, call me anything, but never call me clueless. Never let me, never let me labor under a delusion of something that it's call me anything. Don't call me clueless. Work with me on this. At Lionel Legal, my other channel, they're digging this because it's from a legal point of view. You're not paying enough attention to the Diddy case. They're signaling, they're saying he's on suicide watch. Ding, 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 ding. Hello. Got that? Everybody in place? Okay. Why do you do that? To let people know if something goes wrong, we called it first and recognize it. It's not, when you say he's on the watch, a lot of times they're just depressed or they're upset because he's in a federal, kind of like a jail, squatting like an animal and relieving himself on a stainless steel. I mean, this, yeah. So they're very depressed. So, but they're saying, ding, ding, ding. If anything happens, you say, see, we told you. And these people love to do it. That other guy that, they did this in front of everybody. Understand how these people work. They could have said, listen, do me a favor. Imagine one day you're reading the proverbial papers and you say, hey, did you ever hear when Robert Maxwell was missing? No. Who's that? That's Ghislaine's father. Did you ever hear about him? No, but everybody said, oh, okay. That was simple. Something happened. It's an accident. Okay. They didn't want to do that with that other guy. They wanted to send you a message. We're here. Just like a certain group of folks wanted to send you a message to say, we're going to get your pagers. Pretty soon, keep an eye on fax machines and rotary dial. I mean, this is okay. Do you see where I'm going with this? Tell me you do. Tell me you see where this is. So there are people out there, and they are in this stratum of society. Let me see if I can explain this to you. The top level is the shadow government. This is a group, whatever. You don't even know where they are. It's just kind of like you would call evil or Satan, or I don't know. But they're not even evil. They run the show. And they have different levels, different compartments, different divisions that they assign certain things to. There's the military industrial complex, whatever it is, neocons, NATO, but it is West versus East. There is this group, and then there's BRICS. They don't work. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and what? BRICS plus 5 or 6. That's the new one. They have their own. Oh, no. Shadow government, they have there ain't no Russian contingent in this, and vice versa. But anyway. Now, of that group, we have the military. Entertainment is the most important part. Frank Zappa says that the what is it? The Pentagon is the military condition of the entertainment industry. When you control information is the currency of the 21st century. Not Bitcoin, not information, data. What you know to be true. If I told you, I've always wanted to do this, and sometimes we've seen it. If I told you that you have a a terminal disease and you don't, I could kill you just by the suggestion that you're going to die. That's how powerful it is. Pilgrim says the powers that be can get to anyone anytime. Oh, absolutely. And sometimes they don't really, there's really no purpose to do it because it's still kind of messy and there's a risk of getting caught, but you're absolutely right. So information is critical. Now, I know this is a long intro. One of the things that has happened since the days of United Artists, Mary Pickford, Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, Louis Mayer, just go back. Gene Autry, this is before really OSS and before all that. That was like in the 40s, but later on. But these people conveyed images. The cowboy, the white hat. Later on, Charlie Chaplin violated that. That's a different story. So anyway, who are these people? The people who represent the entertainment industry. Government, shadow government realized, I want those people. We want to control the studios. We don't have the studios. The actors, their careers. Anything that goes wrong, we want to own them. Hey, Rock Hudson. Yeah. Listen. And J. Edgar Hoover did it better than anybody. Hey, listen, we understand there's going to be some problems. Maybe. Oh, Rafael Legonde says, Joe Brown said because he turned himself in, Diddy should be out on his own recognizance. He said this is a travesty of justice we are witnessing. Well, Rafael, I'm no Diddy fan, but Paul Castellano, Tony Dux Corallo, Fat Tony Salerno, they all bonded out. These are heads of the 5 families of the LCN. Paul Castellano, El Capo di Tutti Capi, the successor to Carlo Gambino, he bonds out, but not Diddy? Come on, man. They're saying, well, it's because of the threats. You don't think, I think he poses more of a threat inside. When you have somebody inside, they get desperate. They may say, you're going to get that, but if he's at home and he can kind of calm down and get, okay, take it easy. All right. Oh, I'm with Joe Brown on this one. And Joe Brown better not eat the green bananas either, because Joe Brown is just, and by the way, Joe Brown comes across like a nut. Have you seen Joe Brown? Kamala, if this is the guy who's after you, you got nothing to worry about. He comes across like a nut. He may be speaking the truth, but people listen and they go, what are you talking about? Okay. What is all this about? It comes to this. Watch this very carefully. This is last night's, where was that Oprah thing? Where was it? Yeah. Anyway, Oprah. Then we got this jadrul over here, Bryan Cranston. Okay. He thinks he's Breaking Bad. He basically, what does he do? He glorifies meth dealing. They were in Michigan. So here this guy is, he's speaking and they're all zooming in because Bryan Cranston, this guy thinks that he's a star and he thinks you love him. And he thinks that if he comes out and says something in favor of the Democrats, you're going to say, oh, okay, I'm going to do it. Thank you. This is a guy, yes, in a Motel 6. Here he is. This is a guy who basically glorified meth dealing. Think about that. Meth dealing. Glorified. Breaking Bad. Ooh, that's great. Great messaging. Terrific. This is Oprah, who's another one. We'll get to her in a moment. Here she is introducing these people who they believe are going to make the difference in the election in 45 days or so.
Yeah. Bryan Cranston!
Oprah still thinks it's 1984, 5, whatever it is. Oprah still thinks. And by the way, I want you to notice something. They use mirrors. Mrs. L brought this up. They use mirrors better than anybody you can imagine to give depth to crowds. Now, this is the group. This is this thing. I'm not going to put you through this too often, but I want you to just understand the mindset. They think, okay, now you're going to earn your keep, Cranston. You're going to come out for Kamala. And there's no way that somebody as ostensibly as smart as you could vote for this cretin.
I hear Chris Rock is in the house. Chris, where are you? Chris Rock is in the house.
Chris Rock. Now let's talk about that. What does Cat Williams say about Chris Rock? Whatever happened with Chris Rock and the whole when what's his name slapped him and all that? Chris Rock is a we'll see Chris Rock doing the best he can, always never finding the camera lens. We see this in selfies all the time. This is an actor. You have a lens you're looking at right in front of you, and he's looking off to the side because he's looking at himself. Yeah.
Ben Stiller, Jennifer Lopez, Tracy Ellis Ross.
Ben Stiller, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Stiller, who still can't figure out why he's even there. It'd be fun. Oh, I don't know who this one is. Who's this? Oh, this is a Diana Ross's daughter, I guess.
Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, she's still Elper's gonna, you've got a car and you've got a car.
Where are you, Jennifer? Yeah.
Well, Jennifer Lopez, she's still trying to perpetuate her stardom with that Ben Affleck thing. Have you seen that? Honey, they're milking that thing to death. Nobody cares. Yes, very good. Deflecting from Diddy. She has a history with Diddy. Girlfriend, boyfriend for years. Oh, the club with the shooting. Oh, we'll get to that. Oh, we'll get to that one.
Tracy Ellis Ross, where are you? Tracy Ellis, where are you?
She just had him up. Oprah, for God's sake, she just had him. People are saying, Tracy Ellis Ross. Who's this? Diana Ross's daughter. Oh, okay. Who is this? Diana Ross. What are most Americans saying? Who's Diana Ross?
Tracy Ellis.
Who's happy?
Julia Roberts, where are you?
This is the one nobody can figure out. When was Julia Roberts' last movie? What was it? Aaron Brockovich? Maybe one of the Oceans thing? Oh, yes, that horrible Barack Obama produced thing. Yes, on Netflix. Horrible. Remember when she was married to Lyle Lovett for like an hour? Remember that one? Your bare dirty. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is America's. This is it, my friend.
And this Meryl Streep is in the house.
Meryl Streep. Oh my God. Meryl Streep. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein. And don't think for a moment Diddy's not being here thinking of Harvey Weinstein. Oh, Meryl Streep. And oh, where's Jennifer Lawrence? Did they kick her to the curb too? She's a Harvey Weinstein, but so is Meryl Streep, and so is all of this is not only incestuous. This is a creation of the illusion that they control something. She's a good actress. Do not mistake what I'm saying.
So glad to have all of you familiar faces, and those of you who are not.
Okay, you see these mirrors and signs, and this is everything to create the illusion, and this is the best part about it. In the old days, from the days of, when the company, when the farm, when everything was, when Intel was really good, they would have had the best writers in the world, bar none. Raphael said, oh, George said that. Evan says, could PD have been taken in sooner, or was this done now to distract from the election news? You know, I got to tell you something. Maybe, but not really. People love this notion of distraction. Like everything is a distraction. I don't understand. I don't understand why he's brought in at all. Why? He doesn't have to be. Something very similar could have happened. If I ran the show and I'm the evil overlord of the world and I'm saying, we got a problem with Diddy. Okay, well, make it look like a robbery. If you read the paper one day where Diddy was involved with some botched robbery, some drug dealer, rapper, wannabe, East Coast, West Coast, you wouldn't give it wouldn't think about it. Just like if that certain person who was found offed in a, by the way, this was the fellow I'm talking about whose name begins with an E, he was found in Manhattan, in that Metropolitan Correction Center. Diddy is in Brooklyn. So there's two of them. Okay. You dig what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, Lori Lewis with her super sticker, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Lori. Appreciate that. So remember, this guy with the E name, he could have just been gone. You would have never heard of him. It would have gone the way of Maxwell's father. Remember that one? You would have said, "Who's that, man? Oh, the guy with the okay, sure, yeah, right, all right, fair enough. Yeah, I saw that Feds thing. Oh, New York is just collapsing. New York, something is so weird here is going on." Raul says, "Would you say the optics with Oprah is great?" No, I think it's irrelevant. I'll get to this. It's a great. Nobody understands this. It's like this. It's like when somebody, I don't know what it is. They're trying to justify their existence. Oprah, please forgive me. Let me just warn you. I've got 50,000 things to say, and I'm going to jump from one thing. My head is exploding because you asked me a great question. Oprah Winfrey signed her, not her death warrant, but her, whatever it was, when she put on Harry and Meghan to call the royal family racist. These people will wait forever. Revenge is a dish best served cold. They will wait and they will take her out. I'm not physically, but in terms of power. Oprah Winfrey is created. Oprah Winfrey was handed this. Oprah Winfrey never did anything that would be worthy of billions of dollars. She had a very important show. She did O Magazine. She did about the $1 billion. No. Like the Kardashians. No. Who else is a billionaire? Tell you who might be sort of close, but don't even believe the Taylor Swift thing either. They throw that word billionaire around. That person with the name E who had the islands and the whatever, they called him a billionaire. Not even close. There's no Forbes for this. Elon Musk, billionaire. Trump, billionaire. Larry Ellison, billionaire. They can say, here it is. This is it. Oprah, what did she ever do to get $1 billion? What? What did she do? She was the anointed one. Oprah, have a seat. You are going to be our chosen one. What does that mean? You're going to do what we say. You're going to be okay. And you're now a billionaire. How do you mean? We'll just do it. How? Oprah, we're the Fed. We control here. By the way, you have an app right now. Do you have a Chase or a Citibank app or TD? Okay, look at your app right now. Look at your checking account. Okay, just look at it. Right? Okay, good. Now, okay, now refresh. Look at it now. But whoa, I just put $1 million in there. Yeah, no, I didn't. I just put a number in there. You don't know who we are, do you? We say you're $1 million. You got $1 million. When we decide to give a stimulus check to somebody, what does that mean? Do we do we go to the bank and we get the gold? No, we just say $1 million. Is it? If I'm at a casino, here's $100,000 in chips. What? Take it. Why? Does it matter? Not really. Not really. You're not gonna. So we, being the lemmings, we'd say, oh, she's a billionaire, and you will believe anything. You will believe this. But when she decided, CBS, remember Les Moonves? They got him. They knew all about him. The royal family is the most powerful group of people on the planet today. Don't let them fool you. I'm not talking about Meghan and Harry and Charlie. I'm talking about a concern that has been here since the beginning of time. They make the Saudis look like pikers. They control everything. Everything. It all starts from them. everything. And she decided, because she's an idiot, to actually put on something where Megan is so marked, it's not even funny. And again, I'm not talking about physical dispatch. I mean just sidelining. Wait till you see what they do to Harry, but I digress. That's a subject I love, but this crowd does it. There's certain things you don't care for. Ukraine, what's really going on in the Middle East, AI, it's not your stuff. I dig it. And when I tell you things about Bobby Kennedy or Donnie Jr., this is the biggest stuff in the world. I don't think you like it because it's just not, you don't see this on Fox. And don't be a Fox. I'm trying to get you out of that. I'm trying to pull you out of that. It's like, I want you to understand you're eating McDonald's every day. Let's try some Sri Lankan food. Here's a flavor profile you've never heard before. Okay. This is it. So Oprah comes along and she does this thing, and they say, Oprah, we're going to call, and she says, fine. So she convinces them, I carry sway because I'm a billionaire. Me and Gail and this and my wigs and I'm losing weight. Okay, fine. Nobody cares about this. This is sheer and utter desperation. So what did they do? I can't put you through this nonsense. I'm going to try my best, but they had one, and I believe me, I can't do this. I can't make you go through this. But there was one couple who said, we're going to ask you a question about lowering prices. Whatever. She's had 3.5 years. All you got to do is memorize. This is Kamala. Watch her right off the bat. Still, after she's been accused of word salad, diffuse, nonlinear garbage. Listen to what she says.
We love our country. I love our country. I know we all do. That's why everybody's here right now. We love our country.
Look at the looks behind her. Look at the looks.
We take pride in the...
Are you watching this? First of all, look at the stultified look. And also, I don't believe in body language. Let me just say something to you very quickly. I don't believe in these body language people, but this is the body language I believe in. Or that stuff. Not, did you touch your chin? Did you look at your watch? No. This is called stultified paralysis. Look at Oprah. Oprah's looking at her like, what the are you saying? Look at these folks behind them. Now, if it were me, always the back shot, I would make sure is so well. This looks like they threw this together. This looks like one of those, my friend Jack Harris, who does in Tampa, like the AM Tampa Bay, or those news shows, like we'd have like this local, hi everybody, PM Magazine. Remember Gary Collins? This looks like a group of people just sitting around. It could be Good Morning Des Moines. This is not what I want for the future president. And the fact that Oprah is there, and remember, your daughters and sons probably don't know who the hell Oprah is. I'm sorry. They may know who Uncle Lenny is, but they don't know who she is. Now watch again. Let me start from the top. Look at the people in the back. Look at their reaction. No heads nodding. No, you can just feel it because you're a human being and you've seen human reaction before.
We love our country. I love our country. I know we all
Don't
do.
ever hit
That's
the
why
mic.
everybody's here right now. We love our country.
Nobody's nodding.
We take pride in the privilege of being American.
They don't think that. Excuse me, they're Democrats. They don't have American flags. You can tell when you're when you're in a Democratic area. I know America, or you can tell when the Republicans are Trump because there's an American flag. Democrats do not convey. This is a group of reparations and this and transgender and all this other kind of. She has got the wrong crowd, the wrong message. This is how disconnected she is.
And this is a moment where we can and must come together.
Here we go again. She's still doing it. 3.5 years. And they said, do me a favor. I'm going to put this, we're going to insert this little bead underneath your skin, and I'm going to attach it to a Ford Bronco. And every time you say come together, or I'm going to hit a button, and you're going to get a little shock because we have to break you of saying this. It's a tick. It's like Tourette's. You keep going back. You keep perseverating on this line, coming together. No, mobs coming together, bar fights coming together, cancer coming together. Certain things shouldn't come together, okay? John Lennon notwithstanding.
As Americans, understanding we have so much more in common than what separates us.
But this, I didn't even know what that means. We have more in common than what separates us. You separate us. You do. Look at that one little flag in the back. That one little, and it's almost like a motif. Not really a flag. It's just a motif.
Let's come together.
There we go again. She wants to come together.
With the character that we are so proud of about who we are.
See, she doesn't know. She still doesn't know. She's still doing it. She is incapable of doing it. She feels, this is the title, that she feels the abandonment as the Dems are freaking out over their loser nominee.
Which is, we are an optimistic people.
Optimistic? What are you talking about? This is just sheer and utter blather. She's a blatherskite, a poltroon, a blatteroon. This is prattle. This is nonsense. She's still doing it.
We are an optimistic people.
Optimistic? Are you kidding me? She just said this is the end of democracy and this and that, and we're going to have to. Optimistic. The numbers are declining. People are scared out of their minds. What is she talking about?
America.
Look at Oprah. Look at Oprah says, do I look skinny? Do I look skinny? Can you see the weave? Do I look all right? How am I looking? I'm okay, right? This Ozembic's not going to kill me, right? What about the Weight Watchers? This is a woman, by the way, who says, I'm the national spokesperson for Weight Watchers. And this says, oh, by the way, I don't do Weight Watchers. What? Yeah, I don't do it.
By character are people who have dreams and ambitions.
What are you? This is the Miss Congeniality speech from Miss Vermont. Remember that girl? United States, America, and of America, and the maps of America. Remember that one famous? It was that one classic moment where the poor girl had no idea.
And aspirations. We believe in what is possible.
We believe in what is possible. We believe in the glory, in the majesty, untethered, unburdened by the past, unless there's reparations, embracing a complete and total subjugation of DreamWorks. And I'm not talking about Katzenberg.
We believe in what can be.
What can be, what is, que sera, which, by the way, means what evening, what evening. Doris Day was singing what evening. Buonasera, que sera is evening. Que sera is another story.
And we believe in fighting for that.
And we will fight for that in the streets. And we will use Antifa and BLM, and we'll destroy plate glass windows. We will loot Louis Vuitton bags, Christian Dior. We will leave pallets of bricks so you can throw them as brickbats through windows and projectiles. We will destroy because we believe.
That's how we came into being.
That's how we came into being, by dreaming. She could not associate those people who gave us the Constitution, which, by the way, she wants to completely obviate by virtue of some view of Roe or something. This woman has not a clue.
Because the people before us understood that one of the greatest expressions for
this is the best one right here. You see this? This is where she's just derailing. She's running out of gas here. And this has been
good. That one of the greatest expressions.
Okay, here we go. It's
for the love of our country, one of the greatest expressions of patriotism
is that thing.
Is to fight for the ideals of who we are.
Of who we are.
Includes freedom.
Freedom and stuff. You know, whatever. That thing. To fight for that which we are, having been once then.
To make decisions about your own body. Freedom. To be safe from gun violence.
Freedom. And by the way, she says, and if I've got a gun and you come into my house, I'm going to shoot you. Of course, U.S. Secret Service. Gun violence? It's not gun violence. What about sexual violence? What about stabbings? What about just people who were beaten? What about abduction? What about that violence? No. Guns, because it is important for us to completely remove the ability for you to exercise the benefits and the protections of the Second Amendment to prevent us as a rogue, kind of a mutant power structure to come in and disrupt and reverse those protections, which I speak of in a kind of a titular way, but I actually want to remove.
Freedom to have access to the ballot box.
Freedom to have access to the ballot box, and freedom to let us take care of those ballots for you, to pick them up, to ballot harvest. That's okay. You know what? Better yet, oh, you didn't get your ballot in the mail? Oh, okay. Well, don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll be found.
Freedom to be who you are and just be, to love who you love openly and with pride.
She's telling Oprah this. Remember Stedman, the poor schmuck? Remember the boyfriend? Oprah wants to love the person she wants. I think it's Gail, which is nothing wrong with that. She's been denying that for, I don't even know what the hell's going on. What are you talking about? These are some of the most closeted people there is. They don't tell you anything. Half of Hollywood, a lot of the people that we saw, believe it or not. And excuse me, there's nothing wrong with being gay. And if you're going to tell somebody to be gay in Dothan, Alabama, and risk getting the snot beat out of you because you've come out at the insistence of these Hollywood lefties, you should at least have the temerity and the intrepidity and the guts to say, and I'm gay too, and have been. And this is, and you know it. And the thing is, you know what you know.
Freedom to just be.
Freedom to be, to exist. Listen to this. Listen. Wait a minute. I didn't realize this. Listen to this resounding after the end of the trajectory of this word blather. Listen to Oprah's resounding,
Freedom to just be.
Listen. No clapping.
And that's
no clapping.
Who we are. We believe in all that.
No clapping. See that right now? She thought there would be a clap. She thought there is a clap.
And so this is a moment where we stand knowing what we are fighting for. We're not fighting against.
This is now 45 days after the time for her to hone and to winnow and sharpen the message. This is what she does.
It's what we're fighting for.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Vice
Thank you.
President.
She's thinking to herself, thank
love
God
our
this
country.
is over with. Do you understand what you just saw? Do you understand? Tell me you do. Blink once for yes. Each of you send me $100 if you understand. I feel like Jimmy Swaggart. And if you believe in the Holy Spirit, in the power of Jesus, you will send to me right now and be a part of our prayer partners for nothing but $25 down. I will pray for you. I will send you a prayer mat, a prayer hat, a official Jimmy Swaggart button, and I will pray God, in the name of Jesus, in the name of the Spirit, in the covenant, in the name of the Holy Jesus. I love that. That was so horrid. And we shared it together, ladies and gentlemen. We shared it. Let me see. Brad Oplin says, this was ridiculous. These people think this is Kama's team. Compare these fools to Trump's team. Unfortunately, their heads cannot be removed. Pilgrim Media says, will they allow Harry back in? Never. Well, he is going to, Prince Harry is going to dump her and go back to the only life he's ever known. And Wills will, by the way, where's Kate? Anyway. Okay. Mrs. L says Wills will take him back, but he will be owned. He will have his balls cut off. I will own you. You're going to do what I say, and you're going to leave that Harridan. And she'll make a big stink because of Archie and the kids and the whole bit. Crypto says, I love it, Uncle Lenny. Let your mind Let your mindful thought. Indeed. Sam Whiskey says Roman emperors sponsored a red and blue team chariot racing while the actors were waving at the audience. Sound familiar? Johnny McGuire couldn't get hired, says Kamala has zero ability to work a room. Joe, even in his current state, could best Kamala. Absolutely. Crypto says fact checkers need examples of these bumbles. And this is a stage if I've ever seen one. Pilgrim says Shamala is ubiquitous and clairvoyant and high. Crypto says if it's 50-50 that she'd come out after Biden giving her the gold horse with 3 skits and that's the best she's got, or is this not more script? I love your language style, sir. Words are salad when you put them in the blender. As evidenced by, is this all still the first shtick? Yes. Edie says, Mr. Rowell, do you think SNL will capitalize on this one? Would they dare? Never, 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 never. Crypto says the funniest part is the practices that she practices all this. I don't know if she does. Lori says, I love you. Indeed, we love you. Evan Webb says, give me a witness. Praise be Reverend Lenny. Indeed. You're seeing something that completely just it upends rational thought. It's something that you can't put into words how this is even remotely happening. Now, let me tell you what means more than any of this stuff. And it's the stuff that is you don't really feel. It's groups of people who don't necessarily find themselves in a position. And where do you find that out? On social media. This is a group of youngsters at Penn State. Now, we talk all this stuff about, college is a hotbed of anti-Semitism, whatever. These are a group of young people at Penn State. Watch this. MAGA hats, baby. MAGA mania. Now, let me explain this one to you. This is a very interesting one. There is a woman, and did you find her? She is very interesting. This is a woman named Nancy Mace. I like Nancy Mace. Have you seen her? She's a real firebrand, a real firebrand. And she is, how do I say this? She has been speaking out on behalf of her constituents and the like. Very, very, very interesting. She is, let me see this. She is a very, very good, let me see. Very, very interesting. She worked for Donald Trump. She's a Republican. She's first woman to graduate from the Corps of Cadets at the Citadel. I mean, she has all of the provenance that you can imagine. Here is a very interesting thing. And ladies and gentlemen, there is a fellow named, I always get it. Is it Michael Eric? It's Michael Eric Dyson. Absolutely. There is an expression that we use full of, my mother used to say, full of beans. And Michael Eric Dyson has been the clown prince of this. You talk about word salad. It's very good stuff, but it is if you could take Michael Eric Dyson and Eric Weinstein and combine them somehow, it would be completely and totally unintelligible. You wouldn't know what they were saying. But this is Representative Mace on a show with Michael Eric Dyson, and Congresswoman Nancy Mace said the word Kamala. Now, Kamala, by the way, was the name of, that Ugandan wrestler. This was like in the 70s or 80s. I think NWA. I always knew Kamala. That's what we call it, this one particular wrestler. Mr. Dyson thought she was somehow being racist or disrespectful, and it went something like this.
The history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
So now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say, I just said you weren't
BS.
racist.
That is complete
No, you don't have
BS.
to intend racism.
No.
See, by the way, he never looks at her too. This is another thing too. When somebody is talking to you and they never make eye contact and they never, there's something interesting. They're off in another place, either because of fear or complete disingenuous nonsense.
No. You are intending that
your
I am
disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris.
And they also talk over you. That's another thing, too.
That
is
is
part and
offensive.
parcel of a tradition of disrespect.
It's offensive,
Congresswoman,
and it's,
why can't you
it's
just?
offensive.
Why
I'm not
That is
calling you a
disgusting.
racist. I'm
No,
telling you what the practice is
You
racist.
are. You
Why can't we
absolutely
just
the
are.
practice
And
hear
that
what
is
I'm saying?
disrespecting. No, what's
This is the only thing they have. They have no way to speak on behalf of Kamala's success. So this is all it is. They're going to use through some kind of a connection because she didn't say Kamala. She's somehow a racist.
disgusting is your disrespect of her.
Professor.
This gentleman said,
You know what?
I didn't know her
disgusting
name. He's
to
trying
women
to do
is
it.
her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what
Still doesn't look at her. Look at this. He can't look at her.
a woman is, and if it
And it's not just her, by the way. It's almost like a disorder.
25 years ago,
White
I
women don't
became-
have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is to tell.
Black women who paid the price of blood. It's like a guitar player who has riffs or a kata. You just say he has said this for literally for decades, and it's just you just kind of keep spouting the same stuff.
They're not real women.
25
They
years
care
ago,
for your babies
25
and
years ago,
respected
I
your
became the
humanity.
first
They cared for your babies, and black women care for. What do you care? Black women do? What are you talking about? He's talking about some Gone with the Wind thing. I don't even know, but this is a guy they drag out because you know what? He's kind of like the junk yogurt or the Shmuley Botiach or whatever. It gets them all pissed off, and the members in the metro. You know how it works. I don't have to tell you how this thing works.
woman to graduate from the Citadel, the military.
Okay, now watch this. Now let me tell you what Nancy Mace does. Now, lo and behold, guess who texted her? The guy who called her the racist. Watch this.
I'd like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson.
Wait a minute. Hold it. He's not gonna wait a minute. He's not texting her stuff that might be a little bit kind of kissy, do you think?
After my CNN interview, begged me for photos. In this text,
Begged? Did you hear this?
he says, after calling me racist on CNN, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together, and sent me a kissy emoji.
Without
then
objection.
the guy
Order.
says I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you got to hold it to both sides, not just one or the other.
This goes back to what I'm saying. This is the guy so deluded by, again, connecting with women that he would dare do this. After he did, he thinks this woman's going to fall for this. Honestly, doesn't that blow your mind? Doesn't that make you say, like, oh my God? So I just want you to understand something here. You can look at this any way you want. You can zero in as closely as you want. You can sit back and look at it. It's up to you. I can't tell you what to see. It's like we're driving in a car and I'm looking at the mountains and you're looking at the beach and that's what you find. Whatever. I understand that. But this is so interesting. And if you look at it, so complicated as to what's happening at levels and what they are doing so desperately. Oprah tried, you would think Oprah, Miss Big Shot would say, I haven't got off my ass. I don't know how long to do anything. I'm going to sit down and we're going to do some things. And I'm going to get some writers. We're going to get some Meryl Streep. Come here. Do me a favor. I want you to sit down with Kamala. And I want you to talk about, I'm going to ask you I'm going to give you 3, maybe 4 answers. And each of the answers will deal with the economy, crime, whatever it is. And if it's remotely, if they ask you, well, what do you think about the cost of food? What do you think about price gouging? What do you think about inflation? That's going to be the economy question. And here's going to be the answer. And you can write something that kind of, sounds good, throw some facts out, and you can bring Meryl Streep, writers, Ron Howard, Cranston, all these people to work with her. The best actress in the world. We're going to show you how to be an actress. 4 answers that you'll be using interchangeably. And after a while, you'll be so good, you can kind of, you get the basis of this. And we're going to do this. This should have been done 3.5 years ago. But no, Oprah rolled into town, set her up. I thought, everybody, Julia Roberts. That's her, because she thinks you love her. She thinks America loves her. She thinks America loves her. And in the old days, what really made Oprah great was white, black, everybody liked her because she was just kind of down to earth. Donald Trump used to go on her show. It was a different story. Now she's a partisan, a billionaire. So she believes her own thing. You think she just rolled into town, and I'll bet you they never rehearsed anything. I will bet you if heads don't roll after that with 45 days of the election. There was no clapping. There was no nothing. The stagecraft, you could have had sets. You could have directors. You could have put on a production. You've got some, say what you want about these people. They're brilliant when it comes to putting together, movies but they don't care. They don't care, or they're lazy, or they figure we're going to win anyway. We don't have to worry about this. And that scares me. Could they be that negligent? Could they really be that negligent, or do they know the cat is in the bag? Think about that one. Think about that. We have no idea. Sam Whiskey says, why is she redacting her thoughts before she says them? Interesting. If she wears the purple, we will have World War III. Remember who wore purple after she lost? She's literally insufferable, bruh. I threw the bruh in. And calling someone a racist is a pickup line. Ooh, very interesting. So that's where we are right now, dear friends. That's it. This is absolute, utter, and total freak out and desperation on their point. Listen to what's going on. Pay attention to, I gave you a lot of things. The Diddy case, Hollywood, hip hop. Look at the people who are involved in that. Jennifer Lopez, others, Jay-Z. This is the hip hop royalty. What do you think Suge Knight's saying? What do you think he's saying? I don't think it's racist, but people don't understand how big hip hop is. I say people don't understand how big Formula One racing or NASCAR or professional wrestling or anything is. It's billions. And with those people, if I got those votes, if I could get to that group, just a fraction of the hip hop community, and say, you want to be tough? You want to live the life? You want to be gangsta? Well, the first thing that gangstas did was they controlled politics. Frank Costello, the Lord Prince, the High Prince, whatever. No, that's an executioner. That's Albert Anastasia. In any event, Frank Costello, Francesco Castiglia, controlled everything from Tammany Hall to the judges to everything. You've got to introduce that if you want to really do it, if you really want to be a player, if you really want to know what's going on, and you really want everything, enough with the chains and the this and the crystal and the hats and the Gucci or whatever, that's great. But it's politics. And the real gangster controls politics. And if you could somehow inspire this, you change everything. They don't want this group to be. They want them to be always kept in the background. All right, my friends, I forgot to mention this, and I will say it again. There are two groups of people that I want you to know about right now. And I have the provision of the information right here on this discussion. The first is preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. And if you go right now, preparewithlionel.com. Just go right now. Just look at this. I'm going to give you this link. It's very, very simple link. Look at this link and click this on and see for yourself what I'm talking about. This is something which is so obvious to me. Look at that right there. They've got a deal of deals that you cannot believe right now, which is so important. Right now, before we speak, you can secure your 4-week emergency food supply kit right now. Save $50 when you order. Fast and free shipping, 25-year shelf life, trusted by millions. Prepare with Lionel.com. That is the link. And then there's this beautiful link too. mypillow.com/ that's right, Lionel. From our great friend Mike Lindell at the wonderful mypillow.com site. Look at this right now. I'm going to give you this link right there. Put it in. That's it. And it's in the discussion section. Absolutely the greatest products from the greatest company, man-made, homemade, American-made, and man-made as well. Also last night, don't forget, October 26th at the Cutting Room. Links are available in the discussion. And last night, I'm so glad you joined Mrs. L for her whopping live stream. Make sure you subscribe to Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Lynn's Warriors. She is doing stuff. She is doing stuff right now with the inimitable, the ineffable Nancy Grace. As far as Diddy goes, she knows this intuitively. Our good friend Evan says, I did have a black maid growing up that was more mothering than my mom. This was in Fort Worth, Texas in the late 60s, early 70s. Excellent. I'm sure you did. We never did, but that's okay. I don't know. I think I had one relative who may have had it was more from my aunt. And then I went to school with a guy who had a maid. But that's it. Just never, nobody I knew. We just didn't have. I didn't travel in those circles, my friends. Not that it doesn't matter, but then again, I had the benefit of growing up in Florida in the 60s and as a child, and we didn't know anything about racism. We had no idea. I mean, I'm sure it was there, but as far as we were concerned, blacks, whites, went to school, we didn't see any distinction. It's like Cubans and Spanish. Who cares? It didn't matter. It was so much a part of the screen. In any event. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Don't forget also, if you want to hear my commentary on Diddy, follow me also at Lionel Legal. Oh, listen to what I'm telling you. This case is so big, and they're going to make it sound like, oh, that's just some hip hop guy. No. They said that when they invaded, did you hear about when they when they raided his home in Miami? Said it was like a torture chamber. I mean, this is Harvey Weinstein is a Boy Scout compared to this. So keep an eye on that. All right, dear friends, thank you so very much. Raul, Evan Webb, thank you. BP, Sam Whiskey, Lori Lewis, Crypto Domini, you were incredible. Edie Crowley, we love you. Pilgrim Media, John McGuire couldn't get higher. Bradley Oplin, Raul Rodriguez, I think we said, and Rafael Legonde. Thank you so much. All right, friends, see you tonight at 7 p.m. But don't forget, until then, remember, as we always say, we alwamer the monkeys dead. The show's over. Sue ya.